good, y'all? It's your boy King Cal 516 live in the mix. This is the Swiss Flames podcast. So Marcus Smart recently signed a 4-year extension with the Boston Celtics worth $77 million. And I really want to get down and describe why this is very important for the Boston Celtics moving forward. And before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys, please check out the website, www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Swiss Flames, and definitely check out our brand new Facebook page at Swiss Flames Podcast. And so Marcus Smart signing this 4-year, $77 million contract is very important for the Celtics. Now, my opinion, even though, this was always big back, in the old days of basketball, like in the 80s and the 90s and even early 2000s, I still believe it's true to this day that every team needs an enforcer. Every team needs that grit and grind guy that's like an emotional leader for the team, that can rally the team up, that's like a goon on the court, saying sometimes needs to do the dirty work. If you look at recent teams who won the championship, you know what I mean? If I'm going to sit there and look at even the Milwaukee Bucks, they got PJ Tucker, right? PJ Tucker is kind of like one of those guys that you can throw in there. He fits that bill. If you look at the Los Angeles Lakers, Dwight Howard was kind of like that guy for them. A guy that goes in there, he might do some hard fouls. He comes in, brings that energy. He was a guy like that for that Los Angeles Lakers teams that won the championship in the bubble. And if you even go to the Golden State Warriors, over the course of their teams that won championship, you had Zaza Pachulia. We see what the guy did to Kawhi, man. I'm not saying these guys got to go and injure somebody. That's always up in the air whether he did that intentional, but it sure seemed like he purposely put himself in Kawhi's landing space. You know what I mean? But, they had a few guys on that Golden State Warriors team throughout the years, that you can kind of consider that enforcer type guy, even Iggy to a certain degree, because Iggy, you were going to throw him on to give you those tough defensive stops on the best wings there, and a very physical presence, you know what I mean? And then, so every team has at least one of these guys that can come in and be a big energy guy, a big emotional leader, and an enforcer. You know what I mean? A lot of times these guys don't start. They're not the star of the team, but they have a key star role on the team because it's very important. In the locker room, you need a guy like that. The guy in the locker room that's going to get on everybody because they're not getting the job done. Think about the Heat in those years that, LeBron and Wade and Bosh joined up. Everybody knew it was Udonis Haslem. He was that guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's the guy that commands respect, that he can go to these even star players in the locker room and hold them accountable. You know what I mean? So it's good that championship teams that have somebody like that. So I do not think Boston Celtics are a championship team right now, but I do think securing Marcus Smart for the foreseeable future is a step in the right direction. And I think what the Boston Celtics have done this past all season is key into key guys that they want to make sure that they grow with in the future and solidify that. So the core of that team we know moving forward is absolutely Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart. You know what I mean? They brought back, They brought back Al Horford to come back and play center. They get rid of Tristan Thompson because he didn't seem like a fit. Al Horford fits well with this group of guys. They know that. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be expecting Al Horford to have really good production coming back to Boston. And so they're basically fine-tuning the team. And I believe that they're heading in the right direction under Brad Stevens now. I think it was time for Danny Ainge to step down. I think there was a lot of branding issues going on with the Celtics. And so I think Brad Stevens not really, the one knock on Brad Stevens as a coach was, could he connect with his players? And I think because of his experience coaching the Celtics, I think it's going to make him that much better of an executive, because I think he's learned a lot from being coach of his strengths and weaknesses. He's an X's and O's guy. He's an elite X's and O's guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think the relationships he built while being coach gave him a foundation of what he's going to do as an exec. And that's why you've seen him make a certain amount of moves. You've seen him get off of Kemba Walker, because ultimately I think they realized moving forward in the future, Kemba Walker wasn't the best fit for them moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And so we see the Celtics making moves. I think they move in the right direction. I think Jason Tatum is a certified superstar. I think Jaylen Brown is a certified wingman. And I think that in a couple of years, if they make the right maneuvers, that they can be once again in the hunt for a title. You know, they had a couple of seasons where they were going to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, the Eastern Conference is much tougher now. And so I think they're one legitimate piece away from contending. You know what I mean? And I think Jason Tatum will continue to take steps forward. I think Jaylen Brown will continue to take steps forward. And the glue guy that brings it all together, I believe, is Marcus Smart. So when you see a deal like this, some people are like, oh, $4,077,000, that's too much. For what Marcus Smart does, there's a lot of intangibles that he does on the court and off the court to keep these guys accountable, to keep these guys in check, to keep these guys focused. You know what I'm saying? He is their emotional leader. And like I said, every championship team needs that guy. And so Marcus Smart signing this deal for the Celtics is definitely a great indication moving forward that the Celtics, you know what I mean, understand the important pieces and they're looking to build around that. And Brad Stevens, you know what I'm saying, starting this offseason, we'll start seeing in the next few offseasons, he's going to tailor this team to his liking. And so far, I do believe they're on a great start. You know, I think they're still, this season at least, I think they're going to be a middle-of-the-pack team, you know what I'm saying, as far as in the Eastern Conference. And they're going to need to stay healthy because they have very little room for error if one of their key guys goes down. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I still see them as the middle-of-the-pack team in the East. But nevertheless, what do you guys think about this Marcus Smart signing? What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments. It's your boy King Cal 516 signing off. This has been the Swiss Flames Podcast, y'all. Peace.